scrolling as I was listening. Once again, absentmindedly scrolling. I really need to stop doing that. I don't know where I need to use an actual fidget instead of fidgeting with the mouse. Welcome to Stargatesing, a Stargate gazing podcast. I'm your host, Mary.
And I'm your other host, Kathy.
And each week we review an episode of Stargate alternating between SG1 and Atlantis.
Hello.
Hello.
How are we doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Fabulous.
How's things with you?
Good. Got back from vacation. Don't want to be back from vacation. Started professional development this week. Didn't want to do that.
Yay. How was vacation?
Vacation was fun. We did a lot of different stuff.
Good.
In Atlanta. We went to the aquarium, of course, because that place is awesome. And we went to the zoo. We found a Shakespeare theater.
Nice.
We went to a bunch of bars, of course, and drank much beer. Some of it was good. Some of it was not so good.
Okay, yeah.
Some of the craft beers we had were very mediocre. Lots of walking, since we generally try to walk places instead of taking vehicles. Ooh, we did get to try a Waymo, an autonomous
you did?
vehicle, which was fun because Atlanta is approved to use Waymo through the Uber app. So even though we normally use Lyft instead of Uber, we downloaded Uber. And so we ended up taking a Waymo to a bunch of places that we did have to go to. Like there was a natural history museum that was a little too far away to walk to. So we took a Waymo there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Future's now, old man.
Fun.
Yeah. It was good times.
Good.
How's things with you?
Okay. Slogging along. Semester started.
Blurg. Ours doesn't officially start till Friday, but...
What a fun day to start a semester.
Right? It's pretty dumb. They always make weird choices about what day to start on. I don't have classes on Friday, so all my students who are like, what do we do? I'm like, well,
enjoy your weekend.
You got online lecture stuff, so start on that, and I'll see you next week, because we don't have class on Fridays, so why are you asking if you should be on campus?
That's very strange.
Yeah, it is a little bit weird. A few of them have been like, are we meeting this week? I had a student also say, I'm going to miss class on Friday because I have to take one of the standardized tests that they have to do for nursing. I'm like, we don't meet on Friday. Okay, good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is weird. So you started today, did you say?
Oh, no, this is our second week of classes.
Really?
We're in full swing, yeah.
Wow.
We started last Monday.
Wow, okay.
But because we start before Martin Luther King Day, and that's a day off, Monday classes this week meet on Friday. Don't ask me why they do this. It's insane.
That's bonkers.
They have done this the whole time I've been there. I've never understood it, but
no,
that
do. Makes no sense. And there would be a huge uproar at my school if we tried to do that. That's just very stupid. Yeah. And now we might have a snow day on Monday, which is definitely going to mess with any of my Monday labs that are supposed to be meeting for the first time on Monday. And by any of my Monday labs, I have one. I have one lecture, one lab for the same section. But it's definitely going to mess things up if we have a snow day. But I would still not be upset to have a snow day.
I am desperately hoping for a snow day, to be honest.
I kind of am, too. It's supposed to be a ridiculous amount of snow here in Connecticut. I've read some estimates as much as like 1.5 feet. 18 inches. That's approximately half a meter or so for metric friends.
That would be bananas.
Yeah.
And this would be the first time I'm disappointed to have a house because clearing that will be annoying.
It is a lot of snow clearing.
Yeah. Which is why I'd like a snow day.
Yeah. Yeah. Snow days are fun.
Yeah.
Agree. I'd probably still give them some extra assignments because got to make up for the lab that we're not having.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't give them a ton of work and be like, here, do the entire lab at home.
You're also not allowed to eat in your house while you're doing it.
That's right. And no open-toed shoes either.
Right.
Tie your hair back.
Throw all your open-toed shoes away, as a matter of fact.
Exactly. Although if any of them were wearing open-toed shoes to school at this time of year when it's like literally 6 degrees Fahrenheit outside.
You say that, but this morning as I was walking into work, there was one dude in a dress shirt without a coat and another guy who was wearing sandals with socks.
Yikes.
And I was like, there's something wrong with you, gentlemen.
That is very, very weird. I don't understand. It was so cold.
Much as I enjoy the cold, this is too much cold.
It is too much cold. And I'm sorry, I don't know what 6 degrees Fahrenheit translates to in Celsius, but it's ass cold.
Yes. Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. It's well below 0 Celsius.
Indeed.
Like way below 0. I don't know. -20, maybe? Probably not. Maybe -15 Celsius? I don't know. That's just me guessing out of my ass. It's cold.
-600.
Yes, -600 for sure. It's below it's below 0 degrees Kelvin. We've reached below absolute 0 here in Connecticut. Yep.
Oh, I found a bunch of photo negatives in one of my boxes of my mom's stuff this weekend, and I used my phone and the backlight of my monitor and scanned them all. And that was excited. They were all old-timey photos from like the 1920s and 30s of family members that I couldn't identify, so then I promptly messaged my uncle and his cousin to be like, who are these people? How are they related? So that was fun.
Were they able to answer?
Some of them. So some of them were, in fact, my grandmother and her siblings and their parents.
Yeah.
Which I thought I would recognize my great-grandfather, but I did not. I've seen a lot of pictures of him.
Yeah.
But still, no. And I found a cute one of my grandmother and her siblings holding kittens. I was like, oh.
I only know what one of my great-grandfathers looks like. I've seen photos of him. I've not seen photos of any of the others.
Yes, this is the only one that I know I've seen photos of.
In fact, I've never seen a photo of my grandfather, even on my mom's side, and I've only seen two photos of my grandmother on my mother's side. I don't know what either of their parents looked like.
I'm sure I've seen pictures of my father's father, and maybe I met him once when I was little, and I have no idea what he looks like, and I have no idea what my grandmother, his wife, looked like. No idea. She died before I was born, so
yeah,
it's weird.
Yeah, my mom's parents were both gone by the time that I was born.
Yeah, so
unfortunately.
Yeah, but it's kind of fun to dig around. That's when I found that dog plate I sent you the picture of.
Yeah, that was so bizarre.
I have no idea.
It was just a fancy decorative plate with a dog.
Yeah.
Face. A happy dog face in the middle.
I don't know why. Don't know why they had it. Don't know what was going on there, but it is now mine.
Quite weird. What are you going to do with it?
I display it next to my Tom Paris commemorative plate, which is the only commemorative plate I own.
You have a Voyager plate?
Excellent. I do also have the Tribble commemorative plate, as I've mentioned on here before, which is proudly displayed next to my Tom Paris plate.
Amazing. My Tom Paris plate is actually not displayed right now because the first thing Blue Steel did when I got him was knock that plate down. It didn't break, but I was like, okay, we're going to have to move this somewhere else. And I haven't decided where to put it yet.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad he didn't break it.
Me too, because then I would have to buy a third one since my brother broke the first one.
I collect all sorts of plates.
Oh, I don't think I even knew that. Oh, wait, no, you did tell me.
Yeah, it was on top of my fridge and he just accidentally knocked it down. Because he's ginormous and knocks things off of refrigerators with his ginormousness. And also breaks ceiling fans.
Right.
He's a destructive man and very large.
Quite. He is quite large. Very tall.
Yeah.
Just a very tall person. You know who's not particularly tall or stuck in very cold climates or breaking Tom Paris plates?
Who's that?
Everyone in this episode.
That is true.
I mean, I guess Tilk is pretty tall, but I don't know that even Tilk is as tall as your brother is.
Yeah, I have no idea how tall.
No idea how tall Christopher Judge is.
But probably none of them are terrible enough to just knock plates and break fans, so.
True. You never know. Maybe they enjoy it.
Maybe.
They do break a lot of stuff in many episodes and blow up a whole ship right at the beginning of this one.
They do blow up a whole ship.
Yeah. What's this episode that we're talking about with all of these things that don't happen, but also the blowing up of the ship?
This is Stargate SG1, Season 10, Episode 15, Bounty.
Indeed. The episode starts with a close-up of some rings. It is some kind of a cargo hold. Mitchell comes in out of nowhere, but he tells somebody over the radio that he's in. He sneaks around and opens up a crate and finds some magic corn in there. Can we call it Corncaine since it's drug corn?
Yeah, let's do that. Corncaine.
Okay. Excellent. I spent too much time thinking of a portmanteau while I was watching this episode.
I'm glad you did, though, because I didn't think about it. I was just going to keep calling it drug corn, so.
Excellent. All right. Mitchell gets back on the radio and says the intel looks good. They've got all of this evil Orville Redenbacher, which is also a fun name for it. Sam acknowledges over the radio. Then we got a cool image, cool effect of kind of zooming out from the cargo hold where Cameron is and through space to a different cargo hold further down the length of the ship. And then we see Sam ringing in. When she comes in, she says that they are scanning us, so it seems like they've been found out. They've got to make this quick, whatever it is that Sam has come here to do. So she gets to work. Daniel is also somewhere on this ship and says that he's done with what looks like a bomb that he was setting. And Teal'c also somewhere else setting bombs.
Like you do.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a fun group activity.
Yeah, go beaming onto ships and blowing up anything that might be carrying drugs, just like our government likes to do.
This episode came at a bad time.
Our government doesn't wait for proof before blowing things up.
No.
We can leave that part out.
I mean,
or not.
I have
whatever.
a lot of issues with this episode because of the current situation we're in.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I mean, like, at least here they knew that they were drugs and they know that these people are murderers. So
That's
it's
true.
still... I still didn't like that they blew up this entire ship full of people, but they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were all bad.
Before that happened, though, I suppose I'll mention that Mitchell didn't get to beam out as easily as everybody else did. Mitchell got caught in a firefight first, but then ultimately he did, of course, manage to win. They get Mitchell out at just the last second before the entire ship blows up. So much for that, what turns out to be a Lucian Alliance ship.
Yep.
Elsewhere, somewhere on some other Lucian Alliance ship, we have Nathan there again, and somebody comes in to tell him that another transport has been hit, and they've lost 4 containers of Casa, or as we like to call it, Corncaine. And, of course, they also lost the ship that was escorting it. I like that he leads with the fact that they lost a few boxes and then follows with the fact that the whole giant ship carrying them was lost.
Yeah.
We see where their priorities are, I guess. Somebody mentions that this was SG1 and this is the 3rd transport that they've hit. And their supply of Casa is getting dangerously low.
Our list of allies grows thin.
But Natan says it's not about the Casa, it's about trying to make him look weak. And he's not going to allow them to interrupt his operations anymore, so he's put a bounty on their heads.
Anytime somebody tries to kill SG1, it goes really well for them.
Always. Which is how we are now 10 seasons into this show.
This time, though.
Yeah, this time it's really going to work.
I'm scared, guys.
Yep, it could happen.
Yep.
But before that, credits.
And then we're in the SGC. Vala is following Mitchell around because she wants something from him. He says no right off the bat before she even asks the questions. But she continues to argue she knows what he's been facing, she's done the research, and it'll be fun if he brings her. Turns out it's Mitchell's high school reunion she wants to go to for some ungodly reason. I'm sorry, everyone who likes high school reunions. I'm not fond of them.
No, we only went to one of our several.
Yeah. But anyway, she's gung-ho to go. She has an experience, though, so maybe she'll have a good time. Mitchell doesn't want her to go, though. But she continues because she's really freaking bored, and they have some time off for this. And everyone else also has time off and is away doing other things. But she doesn't even have a place to live outside the base. She would like to have some fun. Poor Vala. He keeps saying no, and he's like, it's in Kansas, as if that was going to dissuade her. And she says, don't make me beg you.
It sounds like a boring time to me for Vala, because she's not going to know anyone except Mitchell. And they're not particularly close. So I get that she wants to leave the base, but that just seems like a weird choice that she's that insistent that she go to his high school reunion as her big event.
Though she does make her own fun, so...
She does. This is very true. She does make her own fun. But speaking of fun, meanwhile, Dr. Lee is apparently at the conference with Sam, so they're having fun together. They're at a little happy hour kind of thing, talking about the presentations that they're going to be giving. And meanwhile, there's a couple women giggling behind Dr. Lee. He turns and notices them and mentions the dynamite singles scene that this conference has. So he grabs another drink off of a tray and goes over to talk at them. It was a pretty short scene, but it was just very funny because Dr. Lee just walks over, ladies, good evening. And they seem delighted that he's there. He was being surprisingly charismatic for someone who's usually a bit quiet and down on his luck.
Indeed.
It amused me.
He's in his element.
Exactly. Meanwhile, in Kansas, Mitchell and Vala are driving to Mitchell's parents' house, and Vala can't wait to meet his parents. Mitchell asks that she not embarrass him, and she says that she never would do that, even though we know that's not true. So Mitchell really was from a farm, apparently. So they pull up to this farm, or they're sitting outside of this farm, finishing up a meal. Vala has not really ever had food this good before, at least on Earth, because she says that all of this stuff is incredible and it's the best pie that she's ever eaten. Mitchell's dad tells Mitchell that one of his friends called and asked for a favor tomorrow, so Mitchell goes back inside to make a quick phone call back to him, and that gives Vala plenty of time to embarrass Mitchell in front of his parents. They ask her what she does. Apparently, she's using the cover that she does payroll on the base, so she's very good with numbers, much better than Cameron is with numbers. And Mitchell's mom says, so you two are serious? And Vala says, oh, yeah, absolutely. First, it was just, sex all around the house, just everywhere. But then we actually became very close besides that. So his parents, of course, look incredibly awkward at that mention. And then Mitchell comes out and has no idea why everyone looks so uncomfortable. Well, his parents look uncomfortable. Vala looks delighted. And then is extra delighted when Mitchell's mom offers her more pie.
Then we get to see what Daniel's up to.
That is so extremely unhelpful.
He's doing book things in a book place. Perhaps reading in a library might be the thing. Maybe.
Perhaps.
He needs something from the stack, so he gets up and pulls a book off the shelf, and there's some lady's head on the other side of the shelf.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Not just the head.
Their whole body's there, but all we see is her head.
Yes.
It was just weird. I've never pulled a book off the shelf and just looked at someone's head.
Yeah, that would be very weird.
And she's like, you doing some research? And he's like,
why else would you be here? I thought that was such a dumb question.
She's terrible at library flirtation.
Yeah. Is anyone good at library flirtation? Is it something that you've been perfecting all these years, or at least watching?
Of course. I believe somewhere out there, someone has perfected library flirtation, but it is not this lady.
Have you ever observed it?
No, because
the perfect library
try not
flirtation.
to observe the 18-year-olds doing 18-year-old things.
Yeah, that's fair. Fair.
Not that they're the only ones there, but
right. You've got grad students.
We do. We have grad students. He mistakes her for a staff member and asks her for something, and he takes him a moment to realize she does not actually work there. But she does offer, maybe we can look together, and Daniel's like, I'm actually going to go talk to the experts on this library, because it'll probably be more helpful. And he leaves, and she just stares at him, because she's a little creepy.
Quite. She is quite creepy.
Then we're in space near Earth, and there's a ship there with those aliens that we've seen before that have been involved in Vala shenanigans before. That type of alien, but I think those other ones died that we knew. I don't know what they're called.
I think so. I think they were killed for doing a bad job in a previous
that's
episode,
right.
If I recall.
Actually, I think Nitan killed them, didn't he?
I couldn't remember who it was, but yeah, I think you're right that it was him.
But anyway, other members of their species are now in this ship hanging out by Earth. Unfortunately for them, another ship appears and shoots them down. Kills them all. Oopsie. More explosion. Oops. And then we see inside that ship, this guy, who I think will appear in a future episode of Atlantis, which is where I recognized him from. We see this guy inside this ship that shot the other one, who's like, I don't like competition. Just killing people left and right in this episode.
Oh, yeah. Next, we're back at Mitchell's parents' house, and his mom has some extra towels. She's made up the spare bedroom. Mitchell asks where she wants him to sleep, and she's confused because she thought that they were going to share the room. She's not as old-fashioned as you think, Mitchell. Mitchell is a bit horrified and says, really, they don't need to share a room. Vala thinks they should, of course. But, Mitchell's mom says that she's got all kinds of stories that she could tell because she grew up in the 60s. She gets it. Mitchell is horrified. Vala is delighted. She wants to hear all of his mom's stories. So she winks at Vala and says, yeah, we'll talk later. So she leaves, and Vala delightedly tells Mitchell that she likes his mom. And he basically just rolls his eyes and it says he's going to go sleep on the couch. Then we are on some planet. I don't know that we know exactly what planet this is. It's apparently where the Jaffa have made a new settlement of some sort after Dakara was destroyed. And Teal'c is there, robed up, so he's doing his government thing. And he's talking to somebody else from the council. The guy from the council wants Teal'c to accept the position that they are apparently offering for him, but Teal'c obviously has lots of other things that he's busy with. They talk a bit more about some government stuff, and then all of a sudden, Teal'c realized that there's weapons fire happening, so that's bad. They happen to be standing near the gate, so he and the guy he was talking to named Chara hide behind the DHD, and there's a bunch of firing back and forth. Chara is fine, but Teal'c somehow didn't even realize that he had been shot in the side and is bleeding. He's still standing, though, so I guess it wasn't too serious, but you'd think he would notice because it would probably hurt a lot.
I would guess, but he's Teal'c.
Yeah.
Who shot me?
But next thing we see, they're in a tent. Teal'c is getting his wound fixed up. Chara comes in to say that there's been no gate activity, so whoever it was that attacked them has to still be around, but probably cloaked. Maybe they left in a cargo ship, so maybe they're not still around. But Teal'c thinks that, you know what, they probably are still here. They probably want to finish the job, so maybe put the word out that I did survive, but I am gravely injured. So the guy gives him a smile and then walks out.
Then we're back with Mitchell and Vala. They're at his high school, getting ready for the reunion. People are wandering around, putting up decorations and stuff. With them, with Mitchell and Vala, is Mitchell's pal Daryl. Vala is dressed very, strangely, yeah. She's got cut-off jeans and a checkered blouse on.
Very short cut-off jeans, and the blouse is rolled up all the way.
Yes. Mitchell and Daryl are telling high school stories about how they dismantled a car, put it into a room, put it back together again as a prank on one of their teachers. Vala does not understand what's going on and why it's funny because she's like, didn't you just have to dismantle it and put it back together again? Sounds fun. Doing that twice.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, okay, I guess it was. Vala, though, says it reminds her of an incident from her youth. And she starts to tell a story, or she tries to tell a story, that a trader came through her village with a crate, but Mitchell cuts her off. She's not allowed to tell stories about her young life here in Kansas.
You would think she would know that she shouldn't talk about her past.
I'm not sure. Yeah. Is she being deliberately... It doesn't seem like it, so I don't know what she's doing.
No, it's weird.
Yeah. Daryl spots a woman in the background who's looking at them and headed their way. He gets Mitchell's attention. Mitchell turns around and he's like, oh my God, this is somebody they know from high school. Clearly, Mitchell really liked her in high school. They're whispering to each other. Vala's like, why are you whispering? What's going on? I don't understand.
Are we whispering? I like it.
The woman comes over. Her name is Amy. Mitchell stands up to talk to her and knocks his chair over because he's super awkward around her. They have a few moments of awkward, like, hi, how's it going? Remember Daryl? We were in homeroom together. Cool. Good to see everyone. They forget to introduce Vala, so she introduces herself as Mitchell's date. which Amy seems very disappointed about. But she's like, oh yeah, I probably should have realized that. So I'm gonna go now. Nice to see you. See you tonight. It'll be fun. And she leaves. And Vala's like, well, someone likes you. And he's like, no, she's just nice. Probably on the welcoming committee. What was Mitchell in high school? Why does he have no self-confidence?
Right? Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Vala, though, has lost interest already and asks Daryl, what do people do here for fun? And he's like, he's probably got some ideas.
Likely so. Back at the museum, Daniel is still hanging out, still doing research. The same lady from before comes over and says that she's been watching and he seems to really enjoy this kind of work. Daniel is rightfully creeped out that she's been just watching him while he works. But she says he's very hard to miss because he's very attractive. Daniel continues to look very skeptical about this interaction and asks her what is going on. She just wants to go somewhere together and be alone for a while. And Daniel literally looks like he has no idea how to react to that. It was pretty funny. Ultimately, he says, thank you, but no, essentially. And that's when the lady starts firing. So she's got some kind of Gua'uld type weapons. And Daniel blocks her flamey blast with a book. That didn't end well for the book, but Daniel still managed to be okay. He threw the book at her and then runs away. So he makes it out of the building and down across the street. There's been a few more explosions on the way, but he's still doing all right. However, that lady mostly catches up with him. He's on one side of the street. She's on the side of the street behind him, but she tells him to stop running or she's going to start killing people. And she points her little ring weapon thing at a lady standing there with a baby carriage. So that's bad. Of course, that is enough to make Daniel stop and listen to what she has to say. But as she crosses the street monologuing, she is hit by a bus, and that's it for her.
Mean girl solution.
Yep, and that might sound like the sarcastic way that I'm jokingly ending that scene, but no, that is how that scene ends. Hit by a bus.
So weird.
It really was pretty random.
I also thought it was good that she had that beaming technology, because those heels she was wearing were not really appropriate for running or doing library research, really. Not that you need to not wear heels, but
crazy strappy stiletto heels.
Yeah, they were really high, too. Like,
yeah,
oof.
Very high. I wouldn't be able to walk in them. I would break an ankle or something.
And they're totally wrong for getting hit by a bus. You're never surviving with those shoes on.
No, those aren't good for getting hit by a bus. You're going to immediately fall over. You'll also immediately fall over in any other shoes.
Yes, that's true.
Maybe with slightly, a millisecond of delay if you had been wearing something else.
Then we see that Landry is talking to Sam on the phone. He's describing the woman that just died to Sam. He says she's human, but not from Earth, and that the weapons were Gua'uld design. And we need to figure out how she got there. Sam thinks cloak cargo ship is the likely way.
This is the way.
But she says it's not all lost. We could probably find it. They give off an anomalous energy reading. And if we kind of know where to look, we may find it. Wouldn't that be great? Landry reports he sent a team to help Daniel, and Sam's like, I can come back from the conference if you need me, but Landry's like, no, we got this. Go have your nerd fun. So Sam hangs up and looks out. She's near the stage where Dr. Lee is presenting his device to an audience in a lecture hall. He's building it up. He's like, all the dreams of science fiction into scientific reality. This one has remained elusive until now. Welcome to the future. And then he tries to fire this giant laser gun, and it doesn't work, which he had mentioned earlier that they have to pretend sometimes these things have glitches in order to make it look like they developed them instead of just finding the technology off-world. So he's like, oh no, so sorry, I can fix this. Just need a second here.
It was silly,
very
but it was
silly.
also a little bit reminiscent of when they were introducing the Cybertruck, and they were like, its windows won't break, and then they threw the metal ball bearing through the window.
Oh my fucking god. Well,
It made me giggle.
Yes.
And then we're back in Kansas again. Mitchell is trying to talk to Landry, but they don't have very good cell phone service out there. Landry is trying to tell him about the situation where somebody's probably after all of them. Not only is the cell phone service bad, but Vala and Daryl are firing rifles at tin cans behind him, so that makes it extra difficult for them to have their conversation. Mitchell assures Landry that they haven't seen any signs of danger, but he's going to keep in mind Landry's concerns that somebody might be after them. And he does offer to come back right away, but Landry says, nope, not necessary. Sounds like you're having fun, so just keep an eye out. So that's what they're going to do. After Mitchell gets off the phone, Vala starts asking questions about Amy. And Daryl says, yep, Cam always had a thing for her. And that Mitchell could have had any girl he wanted in the whole school, but he would just stammer like an idiot, apparently, whenever Amy was around. So they never hooked up, and she ended up marrying some guy and moving to Texas.
Fate worse than death.
Right? Seriously. And I say this as someone with family in Texas and who has lived in Texas. I am sorry if you live in Texas, but I wouldn't want to go there again.
I was joking, but I'll take it.
The people were lovely. I have issues with the politics.
Fair.
Don't mess with Texas.
And as long as I didn't talk to the people about politics, it was fine.
Yeah. Then we were back at the conference. Sam's about to present. She's being introduced. And we get a look at the crowd, which is there. Up there behind them in the rafters, we see someone who looks like they are going to do assassiny things. They open up a case and start to assemble a weapon. And they are clearly not human. Well, not clearly, but they seem not human. Their eyes looked weird.
They did, quite.
Sam starts her presentation. She is there to talk about advancements in holographic projection. She starts by reminding them of when she first showed the technology when the dad from the nanny was trying to expose the secrets. I cannot remember the character's name.
That's right. I didn't know why he looked familiar. That's why he looked familiar. I didn't really watch the show, so I do not remember his name on either series.
Yeah. But the dad from the nanny was trying to expose the SGC. Sam used the holographic technology to show they could fake an alien presence. And now they've made even more improvements, so she's there to show them. An assassin fires, and it goes right into Sam. However, Sam's not really there. Her whole presentation is that she's doing it somewhere else, and it's a holographic projection, so she's fine.
Chekhov's holographic projection technology.
Yeah, good job, Sam. Sam and Lee are off to the side of the stage, and they're like, uh-oh, we gotta do something. They see the assassin up in the rafters, and Sam's like, all right, we're gonna get this giant gun of yours working right now. Lee's like, all right, try doing this, and we could get one shot off. And they do it. Sam picks up that gun and shoots that assassin dead, and the whole crowd erupts in applause and cheer. Woo! Good job, Sam. It was all a show.
Then we're back with Teal'c again. He is lying in a tent pretending to be very seriously injured, and a guy comes in, pulls a knife on Teal'c, but of course Teal'c is not actually injured, and so he zats the guy.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
Chara comes in and is surprised that this person is a Jaffa, but nope, he's faking. His tattoo on his forehead is not a real tattoo, so not Jaffa.
Dolan Jaffa Valor.
Yes. Then we are in the high school gym again. Some random guy asks the DJ, do you have any Journey? Had nothing to do with the plot. I just thought it was funny because it was such a clear line announced by somebody who you couldn't actually even see on the screen. Mitchell and Vala come in and they're checking in at the front table. Someone named Jackie comes over and recognizes Mitchell and welcomes him back. She asks Vala if her name is pronounced Vala. Did you go to this school? And once again, Vala gives too much information about her past and the fact that she was sold into domestic servanthood by a weapons smuggler. And then when she killed him, she didn't see the need for any further education. And the woman is horrified that Val is talking to. So Mitchell suggests that they maybe keep chat like that to a minimum. They head over to stand next to a large bee that looks like the Honey Nut Cheerios bee, which I would assume was their mascot, and they stand with it for a photo.
The taste of nuts and honey, Mr. Scrooge.
Why do they do that? Neither of them look enthused about it. Did they have to do it?
They did look a bit compulsory.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Definitely.
Then we're in the parking lot of the gym, and there's some guy who is just swaggering his way towards the entrance. He stops to spray some breath freshener into his mouth. As he's doing so, he's hit by a stunner, and he falls to the pavement, and then one of those alien guys hovers over him. The guy gets shot again. Is this the same as a Zat gun? Does that mean he's dead now? They're calling this a stunner, so I don't know if it's the same thing.
I don't know. Given how many people died in this episode, I assume they killed him.
Yeah, it was ambiguous. But anyway, the alien guy uses a little scanner thing and then takes on that dude's appearance and gets up to walk away. And I was like, did he just leave the guy's body there?
No.
In the parking lot? Like, we don't actually see him walk away, but we see him look towards the entrance and stand up. So I was wondering what happens with this guy who's now unconscious or dead in the parking lot.
So strange.
Yeah, but we don't ever find that out because they're not going to address that.
Back in the gym, Vala's having a conversation with one of Mitchell's classmates about insurance. She thinks it's great. She could just take out a policy on Mitchell, and then if he dies, she gets rich. Mitchell is not really paying attention to this, probably because he's looking for Amy. And then we see that the alien dressed as the man he just either killed or knocked out in the parking lot comes in. He takes a badge. His name is Phil, which if you say faux Phil is still Phil, if you moosh it all together. Outside, this is the guy that blew up the other ship out in Earth's orbit. He walks up to another classmate of Mitchell's and is like, you look about my side, and you look about my side, yes. You look like you're about my size, and the guy's like, what, so? And then the guy hits him and is apparently going to steal his clothing. Then inside, Amy finds Mitchell at the punch bowl. They are both very impressed with how each other looks. She doesn't know where to put her name tag, and Mitchell's like, you don't need that, you're too cool. She tells Mitchell that Vala and he look like a good couple, and he's like, no, we're just friends. I want to be not your friend. And no. That's a weird way to put that.
Quite.
That means more than one thing.
Yes.
Mitchell asks where her husband is, and turns out she's divorced, so everyone's all clear to just get together. Woohoo!
Yay!
Then they both admit they had crushes on each other in high school, but both were too scared to do anything about it at the time. But now they're adults, and they can do something about it, maybe. But they're interrupted by Mitchell's phone ringing. He's got to answer it, and it is Landry, and the service hasn't gotten any better, so Mitchell can't hear a thing he's saying. So he tells Amy to stay put, he'll be right back, and heads out of the room. We then see the guy Vala was talking to about insurance run into Phil. Really excited to see him. He hasn't seen him in forever. And Phil grabs onto his shoulder and makes his head go insane. It bounces around and bobbles.
Was weird.
He scrambles his brain, I guess.
Yeah.
And he's dead.
Yep.
But he doesn't fall to the floor this time. He lands in a chair, so everyone thinks he's probably just drunk or something, because he's just going to sit there leaning on the table. Phil then follows Mitchell.
Out in the hall, Mitchell's trying to get better service so that he can hear Landry better.
Can you hear me now? Good.
Landry's telling him about the attacks on Carter and Teal'c. Meanwhile, did you notice the signs in the background as Mitchell was walking down the hall?
I saw one said Damian Kindler, who is a person, right?
He's got writing credits and production credits, and is tied to SG1. The other one was for Peter DeLuise.
Oh, I missed that one.
It was specifically Damian Kindler for class treasurer and Peter DeLuise for class secretary.
Oh.
But on the class secretary sign, the C and the L were crossed off, so that it was ass secretary. And it amused me very much.
That's pretty silly.
Yes. But it was just a very brief, 2 seconds. I actually rewound it and paused it so that I could actually take a better look and read them.
Nice.
Yes. But Mitchell keeps walking down the hall after he passes that sign and continues his conversation with Landry. At this point, Landry does want Mitchell to get back as soon as possible in light of what has happened with other team members at this point. But Mitchell's still not really getting a lot of what Landry has to say. Apparently, the entire town has shitty service. They mentioned before that a couple of cell towers went down in a tornado and weren't put back up. So that's why they don't have service here either, even at this high school. Then we're back in the gym. Daryl sees Vala across the way and starts heading towards her and pats Gary on the shoulder and asks how he's doing, which just makes Gary, the dead guy in the chair, slump over a bit more.
Aww.
Yep. And back out in the hall, Mitchell is trying to find an actual phone that he can use. He's given up on his cell phone. And we see fake Phil coming up behind him, pointing his weapon. But then that other guy Kathy mentioned before, Ventrell, slams fake Phil's head into the wall. Mitchell obviously heard this and turns around, but doesn't actually manage to see anything because by then Ventrell has dragged fake Phil into a closet. He steals fake Phil's little disguise device and then just leaves him there in the closet on the floor.
Yeah. Back in the gym, Daryl catches up with Vala. Vala wants to know where Mitchell is. She cannot find him. Daryl says he thinks he's probably talking to Amy. Daryl's like, want to have a drink from my flask? He doesn't understand or she doesn't seem to know what a flask is, so he has to spell it out for her that it is alcohol.
Multiple times.
Yes. Back in the hallway, Mitchell has found a phone and is calling into the SGC. Unfortunately, before he can talk to Landry, Ventrell comes upon him with a gun.
Got a gun! I've got a ready gun!
He introduces himself and says he's here to collect the bounty. Mitchell says he's honored, but Ventrell corrects him that he's just the bait because he wants all of SG1. We can hear over the phone Landry asking for Mitchell, but of course, Ventrell's not going to let Mitchell answer the phone, so Ventrell uses a device on his neck that changes his voice to mimic Mitchell's.
I'm John Crane!
And tells Landry, this is Mitchell and I'm requesting assistance, and then hangs up. Mitchell says his voice was way deeper than that. It's silly. And Mitchell realizes what Ventrell wants is the rest of SG1, the whole gang. He's going to take the whole bounty. Mitchell says, just take me. Teal'c's not even here, so you're not going to collect a full set anyway. But Ventrell's like, no, I'm sure they're going to be here. And right now, you just keep quiet and no one in this giant party will get hurt. And let's get back to that party. It'll be fun. And they walk back to the gym.
Back in the SGC, Landry is there walking with Teal'c and Sam and Daniel. They are all back in their normal gear, looking like they're ready for a mission. Landry says that the Odyssey is not available for transport, but they've got some 302s that are waiting to take them where they need to go. Teal'c wants to know how the assassin people were able to target them so readily, and it turns out that all of them have basically been tagged with some low-level radiation, a particular exotic form of radiation that makes it easy to track all of them. They were scanned at some point, and that has now made it easy for anybody to find them that wants to, essentially. So they got to go find Mitchell, and they only mentioned saving Mitchell, but I'm assuming they want to save Vala too?
I would assume so.
Back at the high school, Daryl and Vala are in the theater, hanging out, drinking, chatting. Daryl thinks that Mitchell is crazy for ditching Vala for Amy and tells Vala how beautiful she is. Clearly, he's got a big crush on her. And also, she shoots like a special forces sniper. He was impressed by her rifle shooting at tin cans, apparently. But he also says she can be a little scary. He continues to basically just babble on for a while. Clearly drunk with a crush on Vala. She's kind of barely paying attention. He finally leans in to give her a kiss, but she puts her finger in the way and stops him and says that there's something that she has to tell him, and it's that she's married. And he is, of course, very disappointed by that. And she does mention the fact that he's a religious zealot bent on total domination of every human being in this galaxy. So Daryl hopefully asks, "You're separated?"
Mitchell arrives back in the gym and catches up with Amy, but he is looking very, very unhappy. He claims to be fine, but he's clearly not. His body language has completely tightened up, and he is not ready to does not want to be having conversations with Amy while this fucking bounty hunter is there.
No.
Ventrell introduces himself as a friend of the Colonel's, and then Amy tells Mitchell she owes him a dance. And Ventrell's like, yeah, go do that. You won't get another chance. So they start dancing. Again, he is so stiff and very distracted while she's trying to talk to him, which is just kind of sad. I don't know. It just made me... Yeah. Vala and Daryl head back to the gym. We see them at the entrance, but Vala spots Ventrell and knows who he is. So she grabs Daryl and hides against the wall right there. She thinks he's there looking for her. Daryl doesn't know what she's talking about and is like, okay, no more liquor. And Vala's like, whatever. That stuff barely affects me. That's not what we're talking about. And by the way, do you have any weapons? But Daryl does not have any weapons in his suit he wore to his high school reunion.
What is this, amateur hour?
So Vala says they need to improvise. Amy finally is recognizing that Mitchell is not into this right now. He says, it's not that, it's complicated. But she says, I get the message, it's Vala, right? And I'm like, no, you don't get the message. Mitchell pulls her close to him and whispers in her ear, it's not what you think, I need you to slap me and get out of here.
I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
But before she can react to that, Daryl comes in, acting all drunk, and goes right towards Ventrell and is like, Dave, how you doing, man? And grabs onto him. And Ventrell's like, get the hell away from me. Mitchell tells Daryl to get out of there, but no, he just keeps going on, ranting at Mitchell about leaving his date alone, and good thing I stepped up, right, Dave? Huh? Then Ventrell grabs Daryl and twists his arm and tells him if he touches him again, he'll kill him. And Daryl's like, Dave, you've changed. Which is, yeah. Daryl's a good sport. Yeah. We see Vala sneak up behind Ventrell and try to throw something at him, a fire extinguisher, I think. But he's activated some sort of personal shield and it just bounces off of him. And he turns around and hits Vala. That sort of catches finally everyone's attention in the room.
Yes.
Everyone panics and starts trying to leave when Ventrell pulls a gun, but he has some magic thing that just closes and locks all the doors.
Yeah, how does that work?
I don't know. I was like, that's really specific, I feel like.
Oddly specific,
yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, how convenient.
Everyone's trapped. So Ventrell makes an announcement that the exiting will not be possible. All of the doors are magnetically sealed shut, so I guess they're metal doors and they just can't open because reasons.
I guess that they used a magnet to close all of them?
Yeah.
That's weird. I don't know.
So I guess Vala is not considered part of SG1, but there is a bonus for catching her too. So this is his lucky day, Ventrell says. And Vala apologizes to Mitchell for that poor attempt, and Ventrell says, this is worse than you think. I'm going to start killing people now. Because you have to always back up your threats. So who am I going to kill first? Is it going to be your BFF Daryl or your love interest?
¿Por qué no los dos?
Oh, and if you don't pick, they're both going to die.
Great.
Yeah,
Great.
Great. But then, before he can kill anyone, Sam radios down from somewhere. Whose radio is she radioing to? He has a radio? Does Ventrell? Oh, Ventrell has a radio. He must have a radio.
I was going to say, I kind of thought that it was just the PA system. So if it was Ventrell's radio, that would make more sense.
Yeah. So I'm like, wait, how is she radioing? It has to be Ventrell, right? Because they're also radioing from his ship, but Sam radios to Ventrell and says they'll come in once all the hostages are released, and Ventrell's like, no, you come first, then I'll release the hostages. So the rest of SG1 beams into the gym. He gathers all of SG1 together. Ventrell then presses a button on his wrist and rings come crashing into the gym.
You can't tell me there was a bottom ring there in the gym. Come on.
No way there were rings underneath that gym.
No.
No platform there.
No.
But rings come in and ring SG1 and him out of there.
I did notice, though, that it was like right in the middle of the basketball court. So the rings did actually exactly line up with a circle on the floor. And I'm like, no, there is absolutely no way that there's just rings built into this floor.
That makes no sense.
Yeah. I'm just going to assume that it is a coincidence that they lined it up with the circle painted on the floor. It's just absurd. So after Vala and Mitchell were ringed away, Sam, Daniel, and Teal'c are still standing there. But they kind of walk through the rings that are still there. And so it becomes apparent that they were just holograms. They're not actually there. And as they walk through the rings, they just continue walking until they're out of frame. Amy, Jackie, and Daryl are all completely shocked by all of this. And I'm wondering what was more shocking, the rings coming down out of the ceiling out of nowhere or the apparently holographic people that they just saw disappear.
All of it.
Yes. Up on Ventrell's ship, Ventrell, Vala, and Mitchell are all ringed in, and Teal'c and Sam are waiting there with weapons to greet them. So Mitchell is able to disarm Ventrell, and meanwhile, Daniel's hologram is just hanging out down in the gym, and he happily waves at everyone, "You're safe now, it's okay." Daryl asks what happened to Vala, but Daniel's out of frame and so is not able to answer. Up on the ship again, we see Sam deactivating all of the cameras that she was using to project the holograms. And down in the gym, everyone freaks out. Jackie says she knew there was something wrong with her. Back up on the ship, Teal'c gives Mitchell some handcuffs. Vala delightedly takes them from him and puts them onto Ventrell. And Teal'c says that they had located this vessel in a field several miles away, so they obviously helped themselves to it. They were actually trying to override the command code when it was remotely activated, so that was pretty convenient. Because Ventrell brought them to him by mistake. And so from there, of course, they just needed to... It was convenient that they had the projectors with them.
Yeah.
Just happened to have them with them.
Sam brings them everywhere she goes now.
Yeah, apparently.
Looking for any reason, just pull them out.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Yep, exactly. Ventrell says that he might not be able to collect on the huge bounty he was hoping for, but other people are still going to try, so take that. But Mitchell is a bit skeptical of that. He says it's, what if there's a bigger payday elsewhere? Because we've had a lot of experience with the Lucian Alliance lately, and some of Natan's seconds are starting to question his leadership, and the fact that he keeps failing at capturing SG1 is going to look really bad on him. So it's only a matter of time before people start turning on him. Then we're on a Lucian Alliance ship. Natan is there, looking out the screen, and some guy comes in. I don't know, some bounty hunter guy. I don't think we've seen him before, but he's clearly there to kill Natan. So as Mitchell predicted, he's not too thrilled with how Natan's been running things. Ventrell comes in and shoots that guy. Natan, of course, is grateful for his life being saved and says that Ventrell's going to be richly rewarded. And Ventrell says he knows he will, but he's not going to be rewarded by Natan because he's clearly here for someone else's bounty as he goes to shoot Natan. So I guess that we're done with him now.
Bye, Natan.
Yep.
Shouldn't have tried to do bounty on SG1. It'd get you killed every time.
Indeed.
Then we're back at Mitchell's parents' house. Mitchell is standing in the background talking to Amy quietly together. Vala thanks Mitchell's parents for everything. His mom gives her more pie for the road. It's a whole pie for the road.
I would like a pie for the road every time I go on the road anywhere.
I was wondering how Mitchell's mom is going to get her container back.
I was too, because that's like a real Tupperware thing. And Tupperware was expensive back when it was still a thing.
Yeah. But she's not worried, Mama Mitchell, so she foisted upon Vala, along with forks and napkins, so I guess it's a road trip pie.
No plates, just forks and napkins. No knives either, so I guess she's meant to just eat it straight out of the thing like we see her doing in a bit.
Vala says we should probably get going and shouts to Mitchell that they have to get going, and he screams at her to go wait in the car. And Vala says she exaggerated their spiritual bond just a little. But his parents already figured that out, because, they're not that dumb.
You're not as dumb as you look.
Then we head over to Mitchell so we can hear his conversation. Amy doesn't know how to deal with Mitchell's lifestyle. She says the Air Force people were pretty scary. They made them all sign non-disclosure papers. She thinks she's not even allowed to think about what happens, let alone talk about it. And Mitchell says people who talk about it end up looking crazy, so it's for the best. Regardless of Mitchell's inability to talk about his job, she says she's glad that Mitchell is out there protecting them if anyone has to be. They have a kiss. Vala honks the horn in the car. Mitchell says Colorado Springs isn't that far. Come visit me? She says maybe. Then Mitchell heads to the car and tells Vala Amy's a nice girl and he likes her. Vala thinks she's boring as hell. She calls her a cure for insomnia. While she's eating the pie that she just said she could not possibly eat anymore.
Pie is delicious.
Mitchell's like, well, we can't all be like you. They start heading away. Mitchell's like, by the way, how many times have you been married? Vala starts to tell her stories, and Mitchell's like, actually, never mind, I don't care. End of episode.
End of episode. Did you like the episode?
I largely liked this episode. It was very entertaining. The only thing I really don't like is the thing that sets off this episode, them going and blowing up the Corncaine.
Yeah.
Because I think as we've talked about before, when they keep calling the Lucian Alliance a criminal organization, it's not clear whose crime whose government considers it a crime.
Yeah.
So what right does the SGC have to go around blowing up their supplies of corn or whatever else they have?
Point. Right.
So that bothered me a lot, particularly in light of, again, recent events that...
It's very imperial of them to just assume that they're making the universe better by blowing them up, even though it's not really their place to be the enforcer there.
Yeah. So that put a damper on it, but overall, Mitchell and Vala were a lot of fun. The high school reunion was fun. It's the most fun high school reunion I've ever seen. It's more fun than our high school reunions, except for all the death.
The one that I went to. There was no death at ours, so we got it beaten that way, I guess.
It felt a little Grosse Pointe Blanky to me, which was also another fun but not full of death high school reunion. So yeah, I enjoyed it quite a lot. Dr. Lee and Sam were fun. That weird lady hitting on Daniel was the least fun part of it, but yeah. How about you?
Yeah, it was enjoyable overall. I thought the whole high school reunion storyline is a little bit cliche, so
yeah,
I found it to be a little tedious for that reason in some parts, but there was enough of it that was amusing that I still enjoyed it overall. I actually did like the scenes between Daniel and the weird lady in the library. I just thought Daniel's reaction to the whole situation was really funny.
Yeah.
So just their whole dialogue was entertaining to me. And so, yeah, I agree that I found the beginning with them blowing up the ships to be very cringy because it was a little bit too reminiscent of current events. And I hadn't even really thought about the fact that you're absolutely right. Whose laws were they violating necessarily?
Yeah, there's no
we don't know.
Galaxy government.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So that is a good point. But I had already, I did find it cringy even before you brought that up. But that was also an excellent point. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a pretty good episode.
Yeah.
And we got to see a little bit more of Cameron.
Yeah.
And his life and got a little bit more of his backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Good stuff.
enjoyable.
Yeah. Will we enjoy what's next?
Next is Stargate Atlantis Season 3, Episode 15. According to TVDB, Shepard and McKay discover that their competitive video game has been controlling a planet of real people who now stand on the brink of war.
Great.
Yeah. And at IMDb, the Atlantis team finds a program in the Atlantis database which throws McKay and Shepard into a game that could destroy 2 civilizations in the Pegasus galaxy. I like that both websites are using the same thumbnail image, which doesn't usually happen.
Huh.
And it is basically a painting of Rodney that looks very much like Vigo the Carpathian. Rodney the Carpathian.
Nice.
It is amusing to me. So yeah, that's what we've got next.
Yeah. Well, that sounds hopefully good
It sounds like it could be amusing.
or interesting.
Indeed.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Thank you so much for listening to Stargatesing with Kathy and Mary. Our fully listener-supported program couldn't be done without you. Show your support by telling everyone you know how awesome this show is. Find us at stargatesing.space. Reach us by email, stargatesing@gmail.com. Find us on social media at Blue Sky. Get some merch, tinyurl/stargatesing. And finally, show your financial support at patreon.com/stargatesing. Thank you for traveling through the gate with us. Catch you next time on Stargatesing with Kathy and Mary.
All right. I'm Mary,
I'm Kathy.
and you've been listening to Stargatesing, the end.
The end. What is that? Astral projection isn't the right word.
It is not.
I'm having a moment. I'm sorry.
Astral projection is a whole different thing from what they are doing.
Yes.
Holographic projection?
The holographic. Thank you.
Is that what you're looking for?
Yes.
Okay.